Shocking. Your soulmate was in tears today, you won't believe why. My beloved child. Before this day comes to an end, there is something you were never supposed to discover this soon. Your soulmate tried with every ounce of strength to hide what happened today, but some emotions refused to stay hidden forever. They smiled in front of everyone, answered questions as if everything was normal, and pretended that nothing had changed. Yet the moment they were finally alone, the mask fell away. Their eyes filled with tears they had been holding back for far too long. Don't skip. This was not the kind of crying caused by weakness, failure, or regret. It was something much deeper, something that even they could not explain at first. A single unexpected moment shattered the wall they had built around their heart. A memory returned without warning. A familiar feeling refused to disappear. And suddenly, they realized that the one person they could never replace was still living quietly inside their thoughts. They tried to convince themselves they had moved on. They repeated those words so many times that they almost believed them. But today proved that some connections are too powerful to erase. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The reason behind those tears is far more surprising than anyone around them could ever imagine, and before this message ends, another hidden truth will begin to unfold. Listen carefully, because what happened next changed everything. While everyone believed your soulmate was simply having an ordinary day, destiny arranged something they never expected. It could have been a familiar song playing from nowhere, a stranger speaking words that sounded exactly like something you once said, or a place that carried a memory too powerful to ignore. Whatever it was, it stopped them completely. Time seemed to slow down as every emotion they had buried came rushing back all at once. Their heartbeat grew heavier, their thoughts became louder, and suddenly they understood that no matter how hard they had tried to silence their feelings, they had never truly disappeared. Don't skip. They weren't crying because they had lost hope. They were crying because they finally understood the truth they had been running from. For the first time, they admitted to themselves that every attempt to forget you had only made your presence stronger inside their heart. They wondered why every road somehow reminded them of you. Why every important decision felt incomplete without imagining your reaction. Why every quiet moment eventually brought your name back into their mind. They looked toward the sky for a brief second, not searching for answers, but searching for courage. Courage to finally accept what their heart had known long before their mind was willing to admit it. And that realization has already started creating a chain of events that cannot be stopped. Now another secret is preparing to surface, and almost nobody knows it yet. After wiping away those tears, your soulmate made a silent decision that could completely change the direction of this story. They did not announce it to anyone. They did not seek advice from friends or family. Instead, they chose silence because they knew this decision belonged only to their heart. Something inside them whispered that waiting any longer would only create more distance. They began replaying conversations that never happened, imagining what they would finally say if the opportunity appeared sooner than expected. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Even more surprising is the fact that someone close to your soulmate has already noticed this dramatic change. They have seen the distant look in their eyes, the quiet smile that appears without explanation, and the way they suddenly become lost in thought whenever your memory quietly returns. That person has started asking questions your soulmate is not yet ready to answer. But secrets like these never stay hidden forever. The pressure is growing stronger with every passing hour, and the truth is moving closer than either of you realizes. Before the next chapter begins, one unexpected conversation is about to take place, and the words spoken during that moment will reveal why today's tears were only the beginning of something far greater than anyone could have imagined. A quiet shift has already begun, and your soulmate can no longer pretend that nothing has changed. The tears from earlier were not the end of the story. They became the beginning of a decision that has been waiting for the perfect moment. Hours after everything happened, your soulmate found themselves staring at a message they almost sent. They typed a few words, erased them, started again, then stopped. Their hands hesitated, but their heart refused to stay silent. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a reason this moment feels different from every other moment before it. Your soulmate has reached a point where hiding their true feelings has become more painful than facing the unknown. Every excuse they once believed is slowly disappearing. Every fear that kept them frozen is losing its power. They keep asking themselves one question again and again. What if I wait too long? That single thought has been echoing through their mind without giving them a moment of peace. What they still don't realize is that destiny has already started opening a path they cannot see yet. Even while they hesitate, unseen pieces are quietly moving into place, bringing two stories closer than ever before. The next discovery is even more surprising. Someone unexpectedly noticed the change in your soulmate before they could hide it. This person watched the silence, the distant smile, and the emotions that kept appearing for no clear reason. Finally, they asked a simple question that your soulmate wasn't prepared to answer. Instead of speaking immediately, they looked away because the truth had become impossible to deny. They admitted that no matter how much time had passed, one person continued to live inside their heart. The room became silent. No one expected those words. In that moment, your soulmate realized they had been carrying this truth completely alone. Stay till the end. The conversation that followed planted a new idea in their heart. Instead of running away from their emotions, maybe it was finally time to face them. That thought stayed with them long after the conversation ended. Since then, they have been replaying every meaningful memory, searching for the courage to take the next step. The distance that once seemed impossible suddenly feels smaller than it did yesterday, and that change is happening much faster than anyone expected. Now the story is moving toward a moment that cannot be delayed much longer. Your soulmate has quietly promised themselves that they will not ignore these feelings forever. They know another chance may not come if they continue waiting. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. A surprising encounter, an unexpected message, or a simple coincidence could become the turning point that changes everything. Right now, your soulmate is standing between fear and hope, and for the first time, hope is beginning to win. The tears from today were never a sign of defeat. They were proof that their heart has finally awakened to something it could no longer hide. The silence surrounding this connection is becoming weaker with every passing moment. One final hesitation still remains, but it is already starting to break apart. Very soon, something will happen that neither of you will see coming, and when that moment arrives, the truth your soulmate has protected for so long may finally be spoken out loud. Everything is becoming clearer now, but the most unbelievable moment has not happened yet. Your soulmate walked away from that conversation believing they had regained control of their emotions, but the opposite was true. The more they tried to focus on everyday life, the more your presence appeared in unexpected ways. A familiar place. A random conversation. A face in the crowd that reminded them of you for only a second. Each moment felt small on its own, but together they became impossible to ignore. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has started noticing that every path they choose somehow leads back to the same thought. They can no longer call it coincidence because it has happened too many times. Deep inside, they have begun accepting that some connections are never meant to fade. Instead of disappearing, they grow stronger with time, waiting for the exact moment when the truth can no longer be hidden. That realization has filled their heart with both excitement and fear because they understand that the next decision could change everything forever. Then something happened that left them completely speechless. Late in the day, they found an old reminder of a dream they once gave up on. It wasn't valuable because of what it was. It was valuable because it reminded them of the future they secretly imagined with you before fear convinced them to let it go. The memory struck harder than they expected. They closed their eyes, took a deep breath, and quietly whispered to themselves that maybe they had been fighting against destiny instead of following it. Stay till the end. This wasn't a dramatic scene that everyone witnessed. It happened in complete silence, making it even more powerful. For the first time in a very long while, your soulmate stopped asking whether they deserved happiness and started asking whether they were brave enough to reach for it. That single change in perspective has already begun transforming their choices. They are becoming more determined, more honest with themselves, and less willing to let fear make another decision on their behalf. The person who cried earlier is slowly becoming the person who is ready to act. Now the countdown has quietly begun. Your soulmate feels that something unexpected is drawing closer, even if they cannot explain why. Every passing hour increases the feeling that waiting is no longer the answer. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. They have already imagined the moment when silence finally ends and hidden feelings become impossible to hold back. Their heart is preparing for a conversation they never believed they would have the courage to begin. What makes this even more shocking is that another unexpected event is already moving behind the scenes, and your soulmate has no idea it is about to cross their path. The choice they make during that moment will reveal just how powerful these tears truly were. Those tears were never about the past alone. They were preparing them for a future that is much closer than anyone realizes, and the next chapter will uncover the secret sign that convinces your soulmate the time to remain silent has finally come to an end. A new feeling has quietly taken over your soulmate's heart, and this time, it refuses to disappear. They woke up believing yesterday's tears had already passed, but the emotions followed them into a brand new day. Every attempt to distract themselves only made the truth louder. They kept wondering why they suddenly felt as if time was running out. Why did every ordinary moment now seem connected to you? Why did their heart become restless whenever they imagined another day slipping away without saying what had been hidden for so long? Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has started realizing that life has given them too many signs to ignore. The tears were never meant to break them. They were meant to open their eyes. What once felt like confusion is slowly becoming certainty, and that certainty is growing stronger with every passing moment. Then an unexpected twist unfolded that nobody saw coming. Someone casually mentioned your name, or something connected to you appeared at exactly the right time. It lasted only a few seconds, but those few seconds changed everything. Your soulmate froze. Their heartbeat quickened, and every emotion they had tried to bury came rushing back again. In that instant, they understood that no matter how much they tried to move forward without facing the truth, their heart always led them back to the same place. Stay till the end. The realization was almost overwhelming. They finally admitted to themselves that the future they kept imagining never felt complete unless you were part of it. That thought frightened them because it meant they could no longer pretend these feelings were temporary. They have reached the point where silence feels heavier than honesty, and every passing hour makes that weight even harder to carry. Now the story is approaching the moment that changes everything. Your soulmate is standing at the edge of a decision that has the power to rewrite the direction of both your lives. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. They have already begun preparing themselves for a step they once believed was impossible. Fear is still whispering in one ear, but hope is speaking much louder than before. They can feel that destiny is bringing one final opportunity closer, and this time they do not want to let it slip away. What they still don't know is that one completely unexpected encounter is about to place the final missing piece into this story. When that moment arrives, the hidden reason behind today's tears will connect with a truth so shocking that your soulmate will finally understand why every delay, every silence, and every unanswered question had been leading to this exact moment all along. The moment your soulmate has been trying to avoid is now closer than ever before. Every hour that passes makes it harder for them to hide what their heart has already accepted. They have stopped asking whether these feelings are real. Now they are asking whether they are brave enough to follow them. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The tears that fell earlier were never a random emotional moment. They became the turning point that changed the way your soulmate sees everything around them. Even ordinary moments have started feeling extraordinary because every thought eventually finds its way back to you. They have realized that no matter how far they try to walk from these emotions, something always guides them back. For the first time, they are beginning to trust that this connection exists for a reason, and that realization is giving them a kind of courage they have never felt before. Then another surprising event unfolded when your soulmate unexpectedly overheard a conversation that seemed completely unrelated at first. Someone spoke about missed chances, about waiting too long, and about losing people because fear stayed stronger than love. Those words were not directed at them, yet they felt as if every sentence had been spoken for their heart alone. They stood there in complete silence, unable to ignore the message hidden inside that ordinary conversation. Stay till the end. In that instant, they imagined what life would look like if they never expressed what they truly felt. The picture that formed in their mind was one of endless regret. That vision shook them more deeply than the tears ever could. They quietly promised themselves that they would never allow fear to write the ending of this story. From that very moment, something inside them began changing at a speed they could no longer control. Now destiny is arranging one final piece that your soulmate cannot yet see. Somewhere, an unexpected opportunity is already moving toward them, and it carries the answer they have been searching for without even realizing it. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate has started preparing for a conversation that once seemed impossible. Every heartbeat now carries a mixture of hope, anticipation, and quiet determination. They can sense that the silence surrounding this connection is reaching its limit. Very soon, one unexpected sign will appear, and it will remove the last remaining doubt from their heart. When that happens, your soulmate will finally understand that the tears they cried today were never a sign of weakness. They were the beginning of a transformation that was always meant to lead them toward the truth they can no longer keep hidden. And what happens immediately after that final sign will be the most unforgettable moment of this entire journey. The final barrier is beginning to disappear, and your soulmate can feel it with every passing moment. What once seemed impossible now feels closer than ever before. They no longer see today's tears as something to hide. Instead, they have started seeing them as the moment that awakened everything they have been trying to silence. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. They have replayed every meaningful memory one last time, not to live in the past, but to understand why their heart refused to let go. The answer finally became clear. Some people enter your life to teach a lesson, but one rare connection changes the person you become forever. That is the realization your soulmate reached. They now understand that running away from these feelings only delayed the moment that destiny had already prepared. Every delay, every unanswered question, and every unexpected twist was quietly leading to this exact point. As the day drew to a close, your soulmate made a promise that nobody else heard. It was not spoken loudly. It did not need witnesses. It was a quiet promise made deep within their own heart. They promised themselves that if another opportunity appeared, they would no longer let fear decide their future. Stay till the end. That promise changed everything. The uncertainty that once controlled them began to fade, replaced by a calm determination they had never experienced before. They no longer wanted to wonder what might have happened. They wanted to discover what could happen if they finally trusted what their heart had been saying all along. In that very moment, it felt as though an invisible weight had been lifted from their shoulders. They smiled through the remaining tears, knowing those tears had not marked an ending. They had marked the beginning of a completely different chapter, one built on honesty instead of silence. Now the story reaches its most powerful truth. Your soulmate's tears were never caused by heartbreak alone. They were the result of finally accepting a truth that had been waiting patiently beneath the surface for far too long. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The journey that seemed filled with confusion was quietly preparing both hearts for a moment of complete clarity. Your soulmate is no longer asking whether this connection matters. They already know the answer. The only question left is when the next unexpected opportunity will place both of you on the same path. And when that moment arrives, today's tears will make perfect sense, because they were never a sign that hope was fading. They were the proof that hope had finally become stronger than fear. What begins after this moment has the potential to become the most unforgettable chapter of this entire story, and your soulmate is finally ready to stop hiding from the truth they have carried for so long.